On guys, Mikey here again. I know I always say it over and over and over. It's been a while. It's been a while. It's been a while. It has been a while. I'm barely posting much nowadays on this YouTube channel. It's gotten to the point where I am more on the social media side. However, things have changed quite drastically. I had concentrated all my work into my profession, which I was an engineer. That I kind of just let all this media kind of slip away from me. But things have changed, as you can tell with the tone of my voice and with that little bit of background. I'm going to try to bring this channel back, along with a lot of media work, a few other things that are in the works as well. So we'll wait until things can be said about that. But let's kind of cover some equipment because backstory is I am going to Tokyo Auto Salon. Over the years, everyone's seen me over at SEMA for like over a decade now. Let's expand. I've been fortunate enough to work with a few companies throughout the years that I've been able to travel here and there throughout the U.S. so far. But now it's time to finally go international. So after so many years of trying, I'm finally going to Tokyo. Today's Monday, so I'm leaving in 2 days. I've been trying to build out many pieces of equipment throughout like weeks now. Trying to figure out what's the best route to go, cost wise, mobility, and not having to lug around too much equipment, and basically use what I need to that will help me be successful. And I always get a lot of questions all the time, like, "Oh, where'd you get that rig? Oh, what you like? How are you doing this? Getting all this coverage and everything." So I run into people that always ask me all the time. I get stopped at SEMA all the time. I was like one of the first adopters to have like gimbals. Like no one had an electronic gimbal back in the day. I had to build mine from like an eBay gimbal, and I'm on like my 7th gimbal right now, which I've switched everything to DJI at this point. That was a whole nother video I was trying to make, never did it, but maybe one day I'll go through and show you guys like every single gimbal I have had. I'm currently on the RS2 now, but now it's like we're all getting older. I'm in my 30s right now. I'm not like I was in my 20s. Yeah, I should be working out, but that's beside the point. The older you get, the more strain you get with all this equipment and whatnot. So that's another reason why I picked more equipment recently. First start off, this is what I've been shooting on lately. This is my A9. This was basically my flagship camera. Now the A1 exists, but I don't have that yet because, money. But this is a Smallrig with a handle, 2 handles. This is the upper handle. This is the side grip handle. With 35mm f1.4. Love this setup, but this is more of a photography camera, and this is such an expensive camera. Unfortunately, at this past SEMA, I was stopped by security and with a backpack. So normally we're not supposed to get stopped. They had me stopped. I told them I can't release my tripod. I'm holding my equipment up right now. But they asked me to open my backpack. Normally they're like, I'm like, hey, you can open it. I don't mind. Like usually would go through. No, I had to open it. So they made me release my tripod and everything fell over. So that's that. So now I'm learning, hey, let's try not to bring really expensive equipment anymore. I did shoot a lot of things with my iPhone. In a previous video on this channel, some of you may have seen, or even on my social media, I did switch to mobile. Mobile has been fantastic. Being able to move around conventions very easily, still amazing quality, and not have to like strain myself and like run around with equipment and just like run into people and whatnot. It's very, very difficult to walk around with crowds that just like dilly-dally all the time. Like, hey, I'm just going to be running, gunning. I need to get to my next spot, start shooting. And then get all the coverage I need. Get it done, move on. So that's that. So yeah, this is my mobile rig. As of lately, I did add the DJI VIJIM handle / tripod bottom, so that way I can place it down if I need to set up anything on here instead of like laying it down. But it adds an extra grip. If I want to like grip here, I can adjust my grip accordingly. I can also do this as well. If I move this phone upward, I can go portrait mode, film like this. I can also readjust the grip down here as well if this light's not here. If I have my other light, I can show you in a moment. I can adjust the positioning of everything. This thing also is pretty cool. It has Bluetooth capability here, so I can actually trigger the remote onto here instead of like pressing the screen and then regripping. I will already be on the grip. This is the VIJIM VL120, I believe, light. I did remove the cold shoe mount. It's actually on my other camera right now, and I'll show you in a second. But this is just to kind of get around, and then I use the other one on the other rig. But yeah, all the links for all of this and the other items will be in the description below. To move forward, I have downsized drastically on my camera setup. Social media, if you've ever seen me post, I did pick up a new Sony ZV-E10. So unlike the ZV-1, this has the ability to interchange your lens. It's very identical cameras, obviously different form factor because the size. I believe the ZV-1 is a little bit smaller, if I recall. But this is already a really tiny camera as it is. But you can interchange lenses. It is a crop sensor. It's fantastic so far. It's that in-between world of like a point and shoot and a consumer prosumer grade. I only say prosumer because you can actually shoot S-Log in this camera. I'm not one to have done much coloring color grading and whatnot, but I'm stepping into that nowadays. It does shoot 4K. Like I said, it says S-Log. My A9 does 4K, however, it doesn't do S-Log. It's more of a photography camera. It still does great on video, but you can't color to get that cinematic look. So that's why I went with this camera. I did have the option of going like A6400, A6600, and I recently learned the A7C. I could have done that when it was on sale, but that was like Black Friday, I believe, when that happened. But I can't seem to justify buying those cameras, and the reason why I say that is because the FX30 exists. Every time I kept looking at all the price points, if I spend just a little bit more, I can get an FX30 and go cinema. And I would love to get the FX30, actually. That's probably in the works as my next camera, if I can justify it. But right now, I mostly went with this. This was sub $700 with the kit lens here. And it's weird to say, but I'm okay with the kit lens for now. It has a power zoom. I can use it with the remote. I'm just going to wander around Tokyo. I'll be shooting Tokyo Island. A few other things as well. Like, it's going to be a great all-around camera. I'm not going to have to use my phone all the time for shooting. Mainly because I'm going to get lost around Japan because I don't know how to read any Japanese. And I'm going to need to use maps quite a bit. So I can't have my phone die. So I'm going to have this as my main shooter and then have my phone to navigate myself around. I'll shoot for social media and post stuff like that as I'm over there on my phone. But this will be like the main like content creation like device. Of course, it has Wi-Fi, so I can sling it to my phone, to my iPad and whatnot. I'll be having my iPad. I won't have my laptop, so that's gonna be a little bit different. Cool thing about this setup is I can use this handle and rotate the entire setup on the fly like this. I can also readjust the grip as well. I can readjust it for the angle too. So that's what's really cool about this remote. I really dig it. I got this as an open box as well, so it has the tripod mode, but it turns back into a handle. I can power zoom, photo, movie, whatnot on the fly from here. The screen also, I like it where it can flip to the left and also rotate. When you do close it, it will automatically turn off the camera when it's faced in like this. Even though the handle's in the way, I can still at least flip it around and sort of get an idea where I'm pointing if I'm pointing at myself. So there's that. It's a very, very light camera. Adding the Smallrig new edition cage. When I say that, I think this one changed a little bit to have a bigger grip and a few other functions. There's an older version of it online as well. I did buy a newer handle grip instead. The Smallrig, I didn't like the features on it. This is very similar to it. It does have the tool in here to be able to lock it in place. The cold shoe mount is built in. The Smallrig version did not have the cold shoe mount at all. You'd have to buy a little adapter plate to add it to here. The bad thing I don't like about the Smallrig version, whatever accessory you have on here, it will just slide straight forward or back unless you can lock it. The DJI mic that I have on here, it doesn't have a lock. It's just a little clip. So I have it on here mostly so it doesn't fly out. It can clip to here, but again, it tends to fly out consistently, and it seems to stay on the camera better than the accessory mounts. These accessory mounts feel like they're more for these twist lock style instead of this clip. I did get a newer light as well. This one has smart function capabilities to control by app. It doesn't have the magnet. I wish it had magnet and smart capabilities, but then it goes above $100 price range to find a light like that. But what's cool about this light, it's smart app function. It's flexible, that I can go left and right if I go like this, or left and right on the base, but I can go up and down while it's in this mode. It does have the cold shoe mounts on here and also down here. This was actually a piece of the other light, but I put it on here because I don't like the stock ball joint mount that it came with. This one, because it's a really bad design. I don't like it. I would probably, if I have time, I'm probably going to go out and go buy a smaller adapter piece to put it on here so it's not as tall. So that way it's a little bit more comfortable to hold, I guess. Or if I can probably mount straight to here as well, so it's even lower and out of the way. I did go with a much smaller handle because the other handle I have on the A9 is much longer and bigger. I found that it was very hard to put this in my bag that I bought. So this is a much smaller setup that I can pretty much just take off this handle and make sure the light's off, and then I can slide it right into my Peak Design bag. I got a little 10-liter bag, which is not too bad. Pretty expensive because it was like 160 bucks. I was hoping to go a lot cheaper than that. Again, budget. But I kind of just went, you know what? I have a lot of Peak Design products already. I really like. I don't love the bag, but I like it. I just wish I had a couple more pockets to be able to put like my passport and stuff inside the bag. It's just a little bit weird. So I'm gonna have to make do. Because I bought a Tom Talk bag prior, but it was a 5-liter bag. I think 6-liter, 5-liter. It's a little too small though. It's nice and compact, but trying to fit everything in that bag, it was pretty tough. Wouldn't be able to put like a water bottle or like snacks or whatnot if I get hungry. Because I'm going to be backpacking across around Tokyo, I should say. So trying to go light, but at the same time, it's like I need a little bit more space, so that's why I went 10-liter. But yeah, this is pretty much my setup that I'm going to bring to Tokyo, and I'm going to be doing some more testing as I can. Unfortunately, it's going to be raining right now and tomorrow, and I fly out in basically 2 days. But I did do a good amount of testing that I think I'm going to shoot an S-Log on this and color. I did try HLG. I didn't quite like the colors that came out from that. So I think the workflow I'm going to do is S-Log and I believe 709, if I recall. And see how that turns out. I'm going to do quite a bit of interviews. Oh, that's another thing. I got one more piece of equipment. I'm going to show you guys. I still have my 360 cameras. I'm going to be using all that. But I did buy an XLR to auxiliary jack cable. That was going to plug into these DJI transmitters. But then I really thought about it. I was like, you know what? Pretty sure I can 3D print something that makes it look like a microphone. And instead of doing that, I ended up just buying something. Because I saw a Rode microphone adapter piece. But then I found that Godox makes one that's even cheaper. You can see it still say Godox, but I actually blacked this out with a Sharpie. Because mostly I don't want this showing up on camera. I want this so it's like our logo more than anything. All it is literally you just attach the actual DJI microphone inside it. It can fit the magnet onto here. I'm not afraid of losing that because it's a strong ass magnet. It literally, the little transmitter, it just slides right in the clip right into there. and done. It's made for a Rode mic, but you can actually fit this one in here as well. And then it's slotted for this, and boom, you're done. I did add the little tripod mount down here in case I wanted to like put it on a tabletop. But it's kind of nice because I can actually grip it like this and extend it out and be like, okay, I'm on the street in Japan. Hey, how do you guys like Tokyo Autosalon today? And I'll be on camera and kind of interview back and forth. So I can banter with someone on camera if I'd like to. But yeah, this is the last piece of equipment I got. This is basically my setup. I'm going to leave my A9 at home. I'm going to bring my mobile setup just in case something fails and whatnot. Because although this is a very small camera and I can move around and whatnot, I want to have a backup. So I'm going to be using my mobile just in case. Also, the ZV-E10 is not weather sealed, and it's not like a magnesium body like most higher end cameras. I believe it's mostly plastic, so still have to be careful with the weather. It's a lot colder over there. We'll see what can work, what doesn't, and then kind of go from there. If you like what you guys see with my setup, I'll leave all the links down below for every piece of equipment that I had shown on here as best as I can. I'll go more in depth with things when I come back from Tokyo and kind of go thoroughly through each piece, because I know I get a lot of questions of like, oh, what'd you buy? How does it work? How do you do this? How do you do that? I'll be coming up with like tutorials and whatnot and kind of teach the next generation on how to do video, essentially. I know there's a lot of new guys out there that have well surpassed what I've done over the years, but you know, there's still everyone that's new out there that wants just to learn. So anyways, catch you guys later. I'm going to fly out in about 2 days, and I'll see you when I come back. All right, later.